UFC Vegas 62, Grasso versus Araujo. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. We did lose our featured bout of the night. Askarov was not going to make weight. Pulls out of his matchup with Brandon Royval. That fight is off, but every other fight still on, fortunately. Let's get into the first fight of the night. Mike Jackson fights Pete Rodriguez. I have been picking Pete Rodriguez throughout the week. I expect him to get a first-round knockout and look pretty dominant here against Mike Jackson, who I just don't think is UFC level. I do think Rodriguez is a dangerous striking game, not super experienced at just 4-1, but I like the boxing skill set. I like the way he digs to the body, and I think he's going to stop Mike Jackson in a round here. We will pull up the scales. There is Mike Jackson. It looks like Mike Jackson does. Okay, on the scale there. Pete Rodriguez looks solid. Nothing from the scale I take as a significant factor here. One thing you can look at, though, Mike Jackson is significantly taller than Pete Rodriguez, and he does have pro striking experience. From range, he could be tricky, and I do think early in the fight, it's going to be fairly competitive. I don't think Jackson has the power to put Rodriguez away. I see Pete Rodriguez stopping Jackson in a round still. A little bit of a height discrepancy. I think Rodriguez will close the gap, and especially getting inside and digging to the body, he'll start to really wear down on Mike Jackson. Also, you got to look at the age. Jackson's 37. He's not even really in his fighting prime versus Pete Rodriguez, 25, nearly 26. Real prospect with knockout power, an exciting guy. I like his style. I think Pete Rodriguez is pretty impressive and gets a first-round knockout over the taller Mike Jackson here. Jackson's a big underdog. The lines are super wide, plus 540 for Jackson. Pete Rodriguez sitting around minus 660. The only real bet you could maybe do here is knockout for Pete Rodriguez, but even that, best value is minus 245. We can go first round KO for Pete Rodriguez, minus 150, minus 135. If it goes a little bit longer, though, and you go Rodriguez wins in round 2, you find it in the plus 500 to plus 850 range. So maybe a little sprinkle on round 2. Jackson's a tall guy. Maybe he looks okay early. The stamina's there. He lasts a while, and then Pete stops him in the second. I think that could be a sneaky prop bet. But ultimately, I am more so predicting a first-round knockout for Pete Rodriguez. Good first fight of the night. I'm actually really excited for this matchup. Next fight on the card, CJ Vergara and Tatsuro Taira. Vergara came in heavy, 129 pounds. He's going to forfeit some of the purse. That's concerning for me because I've been picking Vergara throughout the week as a very live underdog here, but now I have questions about the training camp. I'm a little bit worried. I think Vergara is definitely going to have to move up to 135 after this one. It's not acceptable to come in this heavy. And I think Taira is going to be a real tricky fight for him. Let's look at the face-offs here. There is CJ Vergara. Maybe could have shaved the head to get, a pound and a half off. Still would have missed weight, but it would have looked a little better. There's Taira, who looks pretty shredded out. He's thin, though. There's a face-off here between these two. I'll say this. I think CJ Vergara goes the distance. I've been picking him on a competitive decision. Significant weight miss here is concerning. It's dropping my confidence a bit in Vergara because I do now worry, but I'm still going to ride with my guy. I'm not going to go against what I've been seeing throughout the week. I think Vergara can take a competitive decision. Ultimately, he's my least favorite of underdog picks through this week. I think it goes distance for sure. I think going distance is a quality play on this one. Taira is minus 245. You do get good plus money at plus 225 with Vergara, but there's some relative concerns now. The over 2.5, minus 195. Even Vergara on his Instagram has over 2.5. And I do think it's going long. I think that even if Taira is able to take down Vergara and is dominant from the top, I do think Vergara's takedown defense can be there and he makes it a close fight with Taira. At the end of the day, I have a harder time seeing Vergara submitted here. I think he's going to be able to fend off the submission attacks. We'll ride with Vergara, but the confidence has dropped a bit. Over 2.5, fight goes distance. Good matchup in the flyweight division at the end of the day, and let's see if Taira can come through. Next fight on the card, Piera Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. I'm going to be picking Sam Hughes. I think that she can win this fight with a lot of clinch pressure and control against the cage. I like Piera Rodriguez's hands, but I don't know if she has enough sting to keep Hughes off of her. I think Hughes is going to consistently press forward and find her way inside and find her way to control. The scales I don't think are going to affect much here, but we will check them out. There is Sam Hughes on weight. Looks happy and on weight. Piera Rodriguez looks good to go. There's the face-off. You see Sam Hughes a bit taller. I think this is a very competitive fight. Looking at the lines, they're not crazy wide either. Piera Rodriguez around the minus 155 range, whereas Sam Hughes sitting nearly plus 145. Plus money on Sam Hughes I like a lot here. More so than Vergara. I think she can win this fight by decision. Over 2.5, minus 285, I think is a near sure thing. If you went Hughes to win by decision, it's plus 225. But I like picking the method of victory here of this fight going long. I like the over. I like Hughes upset. I like Hughes decision. I'm riding with Sam Hughes to pull this one off. I think she can do it here, and I think she's a quality underdog in this matchup against the less experienced Piera Rodriguez. Not a significant gap in the amount of fights. You can look just, 2.5 years ago, she's fighting just a 1-0 girl, whereas you see the consistent quality of opponents that Sam Hughes has now faced coming into the UFC. I'm going to ride with Sam Hughes for the win via decision. Next fight is Joanderson, Brito, and Lucas Alexander. Respect Alexander for stepping in on very short notice, but I think Joanderson, Brito is going to be dominant in this fight. His hands can definitely get it done. I think he's going to have a significant advantage when he gets to the floor. I'm going to pick Joanderson, Brito to win by submission here. I'm curious of the scales here. We see Alexander coming in good shape. He's lean. He does look ready to fight. There is Joanderson, Brito, and then there's the face-off. Not much of a size difference here. Both guys close in height. Obviously, you see Brito's a little shorter. He's got good overhand shots that I think can land here. Alexander has a decent kickboxing skill set. Nothing was overly impressive to me from what I saw that tells me he's going to beat Joanderson, Brito. So I'm still going to ride with my guy Brito with confidence. Brito is around minus 355. Lucas Alexander at plus 320. As far as the under 2.5, minus 240, I think that's a sure thing. Under 1.5 is riskier, but I do think it's a decent play at minus 125 range. And then if you're looking down towards Brito via submission, which is my official pick, it's plus 330. Brito by KO's at plus 140. But I think that submission is what he's going to end up finding here. Maybe even a club and sub, but I could also see him working Lucas Alexander a bit over in the grappling. So Brito, confident pick, gets the win over Lucas. Next fight on the card, Nick Maximov versus Jacob Malkoun. I'm picking Nick Maximov to get the win, but it's a very difficult fight. I think Malkoun is live as an underdog in this spot. Let's look at the scales here. There is Malkoun. Malkoun just looks unimpressed by anything going on around him. There's no emotion on Malkoun. There's Maximov with the signature Nick Diaz Army flex. And there's a face-off. I think Maximov brings more of a threat of the very least looking for submissions, where Malkoun I see as a lot more as a positional control style of fighter. I'm going to pick Maximov. I think he can weather the strike. Like, I know Malkoun's not, an A1 striker. It's okay. He's got a decent jab. He has fought as a pro boxer. Even though Maximov's striking isn't great, I think he can be competitive enough in the kickboxing range. And even with the hands, I think he's going to look for takedowns. I can definitely see him landing takedowns on Malkoun. Could I see Malkoun landing a takedown on Maximov? I really could. Now, I think Maximov will be very active in looking for the finish if he does get towards any top position. I like cage work for Maximov. If he can press Malkoun there and look to getting the back from there, I could see Maximov jumping that back. I'm going to take Maximov on a decision. I think this fight could look similar to the Cody Brundridge fight. As far as the lines, Maximov is sitting at minus 120, Malkoun plus 110. It's good close money line, but it's not really my favorite of the picks. Not my most confident, but I think Maximov can win this fight. I think we're going long here, over 2.5. Minus 253 is the best value. Maximov by decision plus 170. I know some people will be on Malkoun, so I'll read off him by decision. It's plus 195. I like Nick Maximov. I'll pick him to win, but Malkoun is a live dog, and we're near even odds here in what is truly a pick'ems fight. Let's keep running up. Raphael Assunção and Victor Henry. I'm riding with Victor Henry with some confidence here. I think he's going to look good against Assunção. I think he outstrikes him. I think he could even beat him in the grappling department. Assunção's past the prime. He's 40 years old. He's on a 4-fight losing streak. Victor Henry right now seems like everything's going straight upward. Beats Barcelos in a massive upset. Now's in a huge spot against Assunção. Could find himself really in the rankings very soon. I think that Victor Henry's a skilled fighter. He's 35, so the run is now, if he's looking to do anything towards the top of the weight class at the bantamweight division, 35 is like that wall. I mean, some guys can get past it by a bit, but 40, Assunção, I think that it's too late now. I don't think Assunção has that same reflex as he once had. I see the stand-up, and it doesn't look the same as it once did. He has a harder time committing to shots. I think he is a little bit worried about getting touched up. Victor Henry should win. I think he can get the knockout. Maybe even could pull off a submission on the ground, but I think Henry, very confident pick. I like the KO side. Let's see if we can find this face-off here. Here we go. Victor Henry, Raphael Assunção. And there is the face-off between these two. Nothing from the face-off really changes anything for me. Nothing makes me concerned about where I'm at. I think it's going to be a Victor Henry fight, and I think he looks good winning it against an OG Assunção. But we're picking Henry. I'll pick KO. But inside distance definitely could be possible too. We'll bring up the lines here. Henry is sitting at minus 365 if you're lucky, but it's more in the minus 400 range. Plus 355, Assunção. Let's see. Henry inside of the distance. Still getting the plus 140, upwards of plus 160. Henry to win by KO, the official pick, plus 188, best value. And Henry to win by sub, upwards of plus 1,200. Wow, it's wide for win by sub. I like KO more so, though. Good fight. Henry for the win. Next fight on the card brings us to our now featured prelim of the night. Mana Martinez and Brandon Davis. I am very excited for this fight. I think you have a very interesting striking matchup here. Davis, upright kickboxing style. Martinez, also a good kickboxer. Sits down on his punches a bit well inside. He does have some sting in his shots. He's a decent fighter, man. I think Mana Martinez is going to get the win. I'm picking him over Brandon Davis. I think that Mana Martinez is still improving at a rapid rate. He's only 26. I think he's a little bit faster than Brandon Davis. I think we are going long here. They're going to go the full 3 in my opinion. I'm going to pick Mana to do more on a decision, but ultimately we have a good fight here between these two. And Davis, he's an OG. He can be competitive with pretty much anywhere, like anyone, like outside, the top end of the rankings. There's Brandon Davis. There is Mana Martinez. And there's a near nose-to-nose face-off there. I like the intensity between these guys. Yeah, I like Mana Martinez's chances here. He also mixes it up pretty well to the body, too. He attacks all levels. I like that in a striker. I like Mana Martinez's chances. Minus 140, Mana Martinez. Davis, plus 134. Mana's the favorite. He does have some sting, but Davis is known for being durable. I know the last fight against Batgari, he got stopped. But that's not a usual outcome. I mean, he went the distance with Giga Chikadze. I'm going to say they're going long. Over 2.5, I think, is a quality play here. It's around minus 122. I don't think Martinez will be a terrible money line attack, especially because of the value. Now, looking at Martinez to win via decision prop, upwards of plus 250. I like Leo Mana Martinez. I say he gets the win here, and I'm going to say it's by a decision. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure to smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe. Misha Cirkunov and Alonzo Menifield. I'm picking Alonzo Menifield to win here. I think he can get the knockout. I think career trajectories are in very different points right now. Cirkunov, tough 3-fight losing streak. Wanted to look for a resurgence. Decided then to drop to middleweight. Is now coming back up to 205. I don't take that as a great sign here. I think that Menifield has some serious power in his hands. He's going to be a very dangerous striker. And Cirkunov has been chinned sometimes in the past against guys that can mix it up well in the stand-up department. Alonzo Menifield brings some power, definitely enough so that I can see him putting Cirkunov out. So we're going Menifield by KO. There is Menifield on the scale. Looks pretty jacked. There is Misha Cirkunov on the scale. And then there is the face-off between these two. You can see Cirkunov's a little bit taller. I'm curious to see how Cirkunov's physical strength looks inside of the clinch I think that's one of his best attributes. I'll hide myself for a second. You can see Menifield is pretty thick. I think the power difference is clear in the stand-up, and I think that Misha Cirkunov needs to be in the top position to finish Menifield by submission. I don't think that'll be an easy feat here. We're going with Menifield for the win by KO. Menifield sitting at -190, Cirkunov +185. As far as the lines, over 2.5, the prop lines here. We can look at the over-unders. Over 2.5, -220. I think, or excuse me, under 2.5, -220. I think it's ending inside of the distance. I think the under is a high confidence play, because if both guys were to win, I think the finish side is more likely than distance. Cirkunov wins by submission. That's what he's kind of known for. This one is +375, whereas Menifield by KO sitting at +130. It's the most expected outcome, and I think it is the outcome that we're going to see. I'm picking Alonzo Menifield to win via knockout over Misha Cirkunov. I'm kind of feeling as though we're going to see it in the second round. I think there's a good chance of that. Let's keep running to the next fight. Duško Todorovic versus Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja, who people think I'm crazy for picking, but I think he's going to look pretty decent out there and maybe surprise some people. I think Jordan Wright has very good offensive striking. The defense is definitely more on the subpar side. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like he forgets about the defense. Duško Todorovic is a decent puncher. He has okay hooks. He could land on Jordan Wright, though Wright has the length edge. I could see Wright stunning Duško. I think Wright has the finishing power that he could knock a Duško Todorovic out, especially a Duško who's lost some fights by KO as of recent. The last one 4 months ago, Chidi badly stopped him. He did go distance with Gregory Rodriguez, but took a lot of damage in that fight. And then Punale Soriano stopped him in a round. I'm going to lean that Jordan Wright side. I think he's going to shock some people with a big upset here. I'm going to pick him to get it done. I'm leaning it by knockout. I see Duško's head there to be hit. And if Wright can just slightly tighten up the P's and Q's of defense, I really think he can be successful striking. I mean, he badly rocked Bruno Silva early in their fight. I know he lost that fight by first round knockout, but there is a positive takeaway that Wright can land. He darts into range well. He just needs to be very precise, accurate, and I would even say conservative with the attack. Like, take your time here. If Duško presses him, I could see Wright getting a bit overwhelmed. That's a concern with Wright, is he does get overwhelmed by pressure fighters. There's Duško Todorovic. There is Jordan Wright, who looks in great shape. Wright's a little bit taller, but about similar as far as statures go. Nothing from the scales is changing anything here. Jordan Wright, underdog. He's sitting at +188. Beverly Hills Ninja is a wide dog. Todorovic, -195. I think Wright can land that money shot. I'm going Wright, man. We'll see if I'm crazy on fight night, so make sure you guys tune into the Fight Companion so you can sweat this one out with me. KO for Jordan Wright, +310. I'm gonna ride with it. Jordan Wright, I think he pulls off the upset and wins by KO over Duško Todorovic. Next fight is our co-main event, and this might be my main event. Jonathan Martinez, Cub Swanson. It's a striker's delight. It's two guys in different places of their careers. I mean, Swanson's toward the end and decides, let's go to 35. Let's challenge ourselves. And he looked good on the scales. We'll talk about the scales in a second. Now, I have to tell you, I'm still picking Cub Swanson as a dog. Jonathan Martinez is a very tricky striker, though. He has very good low kicks. He fights well from distance. I'm going to reiterate, the low kicks are super dangerous. Like, he can beat the hell out of the legs. Cub Swanson, though, not notorious for being awful with leg kicks. He closes the gap well with the hands. He's very good with his punching. He has real knockout power. At 35, is he going to still have that power? I'm interested to find out. I know Swanson, for years, was training with Tim Bradley, former world champion boxer. So he definitely has some quality boxing. I like Cub Swanson's hands a ton, actually. As far as the scales, there is Jonathan Martinez. There is Cub Swanson, who looks shredded for this matchup. And there's the face-off. I mean, he took every ounce of fat off of him. He does look a bit like a scarecrow. But if you look at his face here. I mean, he has the glasses on, so I guess it hides the eyes a little bit. But it's not as sunken in as we've seen fighters making serious weight cuts. I think that he's going to be, I'm not going to say he's going to have Aldo-level success dropping down the weight class. Like, I'm not going to say he's going to go on a tear and end up fighting for the belt. But I think that a guy that's older, if anyone can do it, it's a Cub Swanson, because he's never looked old really in the cage. He still looks to have the quickness of his youth. Excited to see it. We're going Swanson for the win. He's a big dog. Upset City. It's plus 188 Swanson, minus 204 for Jonathan Martinez. As far as the KO prop, let's ride with it real quick. Let's look. Swanson by KO, plus 550. I do think there's a good chance he wins a decision, though. I don't like that bet as much. It's plus 390. That KO is a quality prop. And he could chin Jonathan Martinez. Davey Grant was able to do it. Granted, Jonathan Martinez is not known for being chinny. I could see big shots by Cub Swanson doing real damage here. Swanson, though, money line dog attack. It's what I love the most. Cub Swanson, underdog pick here. Let's jump to the main event. If you guys haven't yet, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. It is Alexa Grasso versus Viviane Araujo. The pick is Alexa Grasso. I think she's going to look good with her hands and fight well from distance. I think in the clinch, she's competitive with Araujo. I feel like in the first 2 rounds, though, Araujo's definitely going to be explosive and dangerous. She's very physically strong. She has some knockout power in his hands, good Muay Thai striking style, whereas Grasso on the other side, more of your boxing-esque style. I like Grasso to win. I'm still riding with her as the pick. We'll check out the scales and see. There is Viviane Araujo. She looks in very good shape. There is Grasso. Looks good as well. And then there is an intense face-off. Viviane Araujo looks like a savage. She is shredded for this fight. She's in incredible shape. It's definitely a fight. I'm picking Grasso, but I acknowledge that Araujo is no easy out. I think we're going 5 rounds. I'll pick Grasso by decision. As far as the lines here, Grasso around minus 219 as the favorite, plus 205 Araujo, best value for the dog. Over 4.5, minus 205. I don't love it, but I think it is going over 4.5. It's just not a great tag. Fight going distance in general is still in the minus 200 range. Grasso via decision. In some places, it's slight plus at plus 123, but it can be as wide as like minus 120. I'm picking Grasso to win a decision. I don't love the betting side as much here with the main event, but I do think Grasso gets the win and edges out Araujo 3 rounds to 2, 4 rounds to 1. It's a real competitive fight. It's a great matchup, and I think for Grasso, this win, she's looking very close to the title picture. Very close. Good main event. Overall, I think a pretty damn good card. I want to send you guys off, though, with some parlays to potentially play here. Now, unfortunately, we lost Askarov, and for some reason, best fight odds is not even coming in. What's going on here? There we go. Best fight odds is up. I'm like, what, did they get shut down here? All right, let's look at best fight odds, and let's see what we can come up with. If you're still confident in the side of Alonzo Menifield, I think he could be a good play to have on the parlay. If you go a Menifield and Victor Henry, it's minus 118. It's just not the value that I want if I'm doing the parlays. Joanderson, Brito. Let me see if I take out Menifield and I just write Henry Brito, it's minus 170. And then if I'm getting ballsy with the dog attack, I go Cub Swanson plus 336. If you went towards Alexa Grasso in the mix, you could go minus 525. I do think she edges this one out. Even though this fight, I like the dog, maybe the better option is you add the over 2.5, plus 727. I'm kind of feeling like this could be a pretty Mystic Mac parlay. I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this one. If you do want to add more, obviously you can go a little bit nuts with it. And then let's add in Alonzo Menifield plus 1130. And if you had Jordan Wright too, which dog action, plus 3,345. That could be nuts. Likelihood of it coming through, I don't want to say is on the higher side, but I think the possibility is definitely there. And I guess for shits and giggles, just add in Pete Rodriguez plus 3,855. But 2-3 fighters max are smarter. I think that's a better idea. Play it smart. I'm disappointed we lost Askarov because he was going to be a staple piece. Like he was the staple piece for the parlays. But I still think we got some quality plays that we can do here. Be cautious though on the betting side. Enjoy the hell out of the fights and come enjoy them with me. The Fight Companion on Saturday is going down. I'm bringing the shoey back for it. I'll do it for 110 likes, so make sure you guys tune into that. Much love to the people. I hope you all enjoyed. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and if you don't have anything to say, you just enjoy the content, drop a W in the chat and share the video too. Much love, my people. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.